Welcome back to the Bates Not in the Kitchen. Today, instead of cooking something, we're just going to spill the tea. And I'm going to answer your questions, or some of them. And that will get me one more week closer to being able to cook with two thumbs again, which is nice. And a lot of questions have been coming up that I haven't taken time to answer either on Instagram or on the YouTube or on the TikTok or now on the Rumble. We're trying to get on as many platforms as we can here with this stuff, but keeping up with them all. Figure we just do a Q&A and answer as many of the questions as we could at one time. Let's dig right in. So I'm gonna go through these questions as much as I can and just try to rattle off these answers and hope that I get to your question if you're one that asked one. And if you're just curious, well, hopefully somebody else asked what you're thinking. Have you always been the primary family chef? I don't know that I would say I'm the primary family chef. Me and Whitney both kind of split that one up. Whatever needs to be done, we both enjoy cooking to some extent in different ways and mix it up. So honestly, any given day, it may be either one of us cooking. I enjoy more of the far out, taking recipes and tweaking them or trying to come up with my own recipes or my own dishes more so. She prefers more cooking things that she knows she loves, or even recipes that I've started making that she ends up wanting to eat again. She'll be like, hey, tell me what that recipe was. I'm gonna start making that. And so it's been a back and forth. We both enjoy it and we both love getting to do it, but I'm glad to get to help pull my weight around here and put in a little help. Next question, I'm just going in order here as much as I can, but have you ever, and if not, made jams and jellies? So since I've been married, I have not, but interestingly enough, when I was a very little kid, my mom used to every year make blackberry jelly, blackberry jam, crabapple jelly, which is something, unless you're somewhere, I reckon around the South area here, you probably have never tried. A crabapple is a lot more tart than an apple would be. They're little small things. She'd make crabapple jelly, apple butter, and I remember us hanging the cheesecloth up on the corner. We had a corner cabinet. We'd hang it on the two cabinet knobs, and us kids would squeeze all the juice through the cheesecloth. So I have not done that myself, and honestly, since we lived at Roland Road, I don't think my mom has either. But that is, until you said it, it kind of sparked a little childhood memory of mine there. So I have not made jams and jellies on my own, but I do remember my mom doing it. What's your go-to family weekend breakfast? If you ask my kids that, every single time they're gonna pick pancakes. My kids' favorite family breakfast right now is pancakes, and a very close second is waffles. My kids wanted the waffles with the little holes. They don't like the waffles with the big holes, as they call it. So I searched around and found myself a little hole waffle. There's actually a reel about it on my Instagram, and I might should do a family breakfast one time and get everybody eating one of those. But we love both waffles, pancakes, French toast, eggs, omelets, a lot of different family breakfasts, especially ones that I can do either on my cooktop on the stove here or out on my griddle outside during the summer. What is your favorite meat to cook? Hands down, no questions asked, my favorite meat to cook, and probably the most satisfying meat in my opinion that anyone can cook, is a steak. There's nothing like the sizzle of throwing a steak down on a hot, screaming hot pan, or throwing it down on a fire, just on watching them flames come up on a grill, or even sliding it into a schwank there and watching 1,500 degrees of heat just char that top. It doesn't matter which way I'm cooking it. I love to cook a steak. It's incidentally also Whitney's favorite meat to eat. If we go eat anywhere, she always orders a steak. She never does chicken. So hands down, my favorite steak and to cook, and I don't think anybody can go wrong with that. Next question, what is your favorite genre of food to cook? Honestly, that's kind of seasonal for me, but I'd say probably one of my favorites is pastas, Italian food. I enjoy a lot of the hearty, filling dishes like that, but I'm a little bit too full right now, so it just depends. What knives do you use? I'm gonna link those up on Instagram for you guys. And I'm gonna try to pin a link. As I've started growing, I've had brands reach out, some that I love, some that I use, some that I'm not going to share because I don't love their products. But if it is something that I love and something that I use, I'll be more than glad to post those up in my stories and pin those. And a lot of them have offered affiliate links, which do support this channel, and I appreciate the support of this channel. Everybody's supporting that, and any brands that do. I'll pin those up with the affiliate links, which often offer a discount to any of you guys. So I'll pin those up in my stories, and you should be able to go through, see any brands that I use or recommend, and I'll be very clear on there if I use them or if it's something that's just reached out that I haven't used before. I'll try to be clear about those. But regardless, you'll be able to save money, and it will help support the channel. How on earth have you not broken a bone yet? Are you really a Bates? Well, I don't know. I did tree work, I did construction, and I was a cop for 10 years. And out of all those trades, I saw people break bones on every one, and somehow I skipped through and never did. And playing basketball with my brother did me in. So basketball is more dangerous than work. Love this cooking channel. I hope you'll continue. Would love to have a bread recipe. We just shared our first bread recipe, and you can actually go back on the channel and look at that. Our family's favorite bread. It's just an Amish style homemade loaf. Very simple. A lot more bread recipes to come in the future. I can't wait to share my homemade hamburger buns and hope to get to those before the summer's out. And some other ones of my favorite, but for now we do have our favorite loaf bread up. We love to make that with whole wheat, make some honey butter, spread it on that thing, and it's great all around. Toast, sandwiches, or just by itself. You can't go wrong. Have you always liked to cook? I have always loved to eat, and the best way to make sure you're eating good food is to cook it yourself. Another little tidbit here, I saw somebody else say this on Instagram. It's crazy the things I've seen on Instagram now that I have one. But somebody was saying the worst part about learning to cook is that all the restaurants you go to quit tasting as good anymore, because all of a sudden you're eating and you're like, man, I could have done that better, or oh, that temperature isn't right on my steak. And all those little things like that, you start getting picky. And it is unfortunate, but I do enjoy eating something good, and there's nothing more fulfilling than knowing you've cooked it yourself and just getting to taste all those flavors come together. I don't know. To me, it's just a huge dopamine high when I get to cook something to perfection and get to eat it, especially when I get to do it in front of you guys. Do you have gluten-free recipes? I am so sorry. I am not a food science major, and I am not a chef. I'm a home cook that loves to cook, and I do not cook gluten-free. There are a lot of good substitutes, and I've seen in the comments a lot of people substitute, hey, you can use this for gluten-free, or people will ask and people will offer their substitutes. Feel free to hop down in the comments and ask people. There's a lot of people that have a lot of advice, but I would hate to give advice and it be wrong, and somebody with gluten sensitivity be hurting because of that. Affordable, good quality cookware recommendations. I'm going to link this up on my Instagram, but there's 3 kinds of cookware that I believe everybody needs to be essential in their kitchen. Stainless steel is the number one. There's a reason most professional kitchens use stainless steel. It's tough, it's durable, it lasts forever, and you can cook on it just as effectively as non-stick without having to replace it every 3 months. This stuff will last you a lifetime. Cast iron. The stuff's durable, it lasts forever. You can use it inside, in the oven, on the grill. No matter what you do, you can't go wrong. Enameled cast iron also as well. I have an enameled Dutch oven. They're still non-toxic. And then carbon steel is the last one. I got a carbon steel wok. I don't think I've used it on the channel yet. We'll have to get to that. But my favorite for carbon and cast would be Smithy Iron Works. My favorite for stainless steel is Heritage Steel. You can't go wrong. You'd be way better to take a day with stainless steel over top of your cooktop, learning how to use stainless steel, than going out here and replacing a non-stick pan every 3 months because it's lost its non-stick, or somebody scratched it with a fork, or the outside is stained. All these different gimmicky ones I see come through my Instagram. Several of them have reached out, and I just don't use non-stick. All the surfaces end up having the ability to leach toxins from what I've read, and you can't go wrong with what the professionals are using. And that's stainless steel, cast iron, and carbon steel. What's your favorite thing to make if you could only have one thing for the rest of your life? Steak. As much as I'm saying steak here, maybe I should do a steak episode. I probably should. What recipes from your childhood stayed with you as favorites? Interestingly enough, my mom passed down a lot of recipes from my granddad. He died when I was younger, but he passed down a lot of great family traditional recipes. Mac and cheese, chicken salad, pimento cheese, egg salad, potato salad, just a lot of Southern classics, but probably the one that's the least known and is one of my family's staples is chicken casserole. And I don't cook it near as much as I used to, but it's a really simple recipe, and my wife is the one that makes it for the family now usually. But it takes me back to my childhood probably as much as anything I eat. Any plans to open a restaurant? I love a good restaurant. I don't know that I could handle cooking for that many people. I actually got invited to cater a wedding for a friend, and they're like, it's gonna be 500 people. And as much as I would have loved to do it, I don't know that I have the skill to trust 500 people's dinners to my hands yet. The biggest I cook for is about 16 to 20. So I'm content where I'm cooking now, but I sure do love having company over to eat. How many nights per week do you cook at home? It varies. I cook anywhere from 2 nights a week to 5 nights a week. It just depends on what's going on, how busy Whitney is, how busy I am, and what needs to be done. A lot of times if I'm cooking at night and I've got the kids during the day as well, I'll do the lunches as well, breakfast, lunch, and supper some days. Some days it's a split mix. Honestly, our house runs with a completely organized chaos or disorganized order. I don't know what you want to say, but it all works out. We know what's going on, but looking from the outside, it might not look like any of us know what's going on. Favorite dessert to make with your kids? Honestly, each of the kids probably has a different favorite. Back on the channel, Casey made cake pops with me. That's her favorite dessert, hands down, to make. She loves to make them and decorate them, share them with her friends. Bradley, he made no-bake cookies with me last week. He loves to cook, but he loves making sugar cookies. Every year for Christmas, Mom will, my wife Whitney, I call her Mom because I got 5 kids and they're all calling her Mom, but she'll get out and make sugar cookies with them, and we'll all decorate them up with different patterns for Christmas, and that's a highlight to most of the kids. And I think they're laughing because of something like that now. Take care and praying your thumb heals quickly. Thank you so much. It is getting a lot closer. I'm down to this brace. I'm supposed to be in a brace that's longer, but I found this one at Walgreens and it works. Have you ever thought about doing a cookbook? I actually had never thought about doing that until I did this channel, and so many people have asked for one. I would like to get a few more recipes out to the public and kind of get some feedback on what styles of my cooking people enjoy versus what styles they're just not interested in. And once I get some more of that, I've actually thought about compiling a list of my favorites and putting them in a book sometime. That would be fun to do. I'm not there yet though. What is one food you hate? Lima beans. I've hated them since I was a kid and I won't try them again. How did you break your hand? I broke my thumb playing basketball with my brother Trace. He was passing a ball. I was reaching in to swat it away and stuck my thumbnail in the ball, and it twisted it back and hit it pretty hard. And I thought, well, I've jammed it. So I wrapped it up with duct tape. We played 3 or 4 more games, and the next morning I just could not move it. So I thought, well, I'm gonna go get this checked out. I went down to KOC, had them x-ray it, and I have a tiny little fracture on one little corner of my thumb, but it completely immobilized my hand. I'm a wimp, I reckon, but I could not function with it, and it's my first broken bone, but that's how I did it. Most often cooked meal for a crowd that kids will eat. It's the first video I did. Sorry about the music. I left it too high in there, but it is the chicken Alfredo. We may redo that again this fall. Hands down, my favorite recipe. I fry the chicken on my Blackstone, and I can do it for a crowd, and the kids love it. Can you do hibachi style stuff on the Blackstone? That one's coming. I'm going to do it. I keep meaning to do it. I haven't been out on the grill much. Hibachi's probably my family's favorite meal for me to cook on the Blackstone, and we'll definitely do that one. There's a YouTube short of it, and I believe an Instagram reel of it, but we're going to do a long form showing you an easy way to do hibachi that will please a crowd and make your family happy. Do you ever miss being a police officer? Honestly, I was honored to get to serve in law enforcement for 10 years, and I'll be honest, I do miss it. It was a very exciting part of my life, and I love the people that I worked with, love the community I was able to serve, but I also love where I'm at right now. I love being where I'm at. I've met that challenge, I've got that history, and I have those experiences forever in my memory, but I'm also getting to build the memories with my family and have that time with them. And, you know, there's a lot of different things in life that if you had multiple lives, you could do them all, but you can't. And I'm glad that I've been able to do everything I have been able to do in the life I have right now. Well, I just want to say thank you so much to each of you for taking the time to send in these questions, care about our life and what's going on. I'm so glad that you guys love the recipes so far, and I'm definitely challenged to try some new ones from these and cannot wait to get back in the kitchen cooking with you guys next week. Thanks again for watching. Please don't hesitate to like, share, recommend this channel to your friends. I'm really excited about growing here on YouTube, also on my Instagram, my TikTok, and now Rumble, all at The Bates Kitchen. So it's real simple, one thing, at The Bates Kitchen. Anybody you know that loves food, recommend us to them, and we would love to have them following along as well. Thank you again, and I'll see you next week.